this juncture, like, life pre-COVID-19 seems, like, foreign to me, because it's just, like, the little things, like being able to go into a store without a mask, or be in large groups of people, or going to concerts. It's really made me realize, like, what I've taken for granted during isolation.
Okay, so as a little kid, before the pandemic had broke, I had always told my mom I wanted to be homeschooled because I never wanted to get up for school, and I never wanted to get dressed and things like that, and I didn't want to wake up early. But I have learned that experience, and I got to try it out, and I do not like it. I will never say it again because it was really hard, and it's impacted me because I always thought I wanted to be homeschooled, and I thought it would be fun and easy, and you didn't have to do nothing. You didn't really have to go anywhere, and you wouldn't have to go to school and wake up early. I would never say that another day in my life because it changed my whole mindset about learning from home.
Quarantine has affected my art so much. Like, I've noticed that I've been drawing more and actually finishing those drawings, because I'm not that type of person who tends to finish drawings at such a quick pace, but I don't have anything else to do but draw now.
I understand that online school can be really difficult. Trust me, I can relate. Especially this summer, preparing for college has been unimaginable. However, our discomfort in learning and academics doesn't change the fact that a person's life is more important than a person's education. When the states reopened, cases of the coronavirus escalated, so I feel like if we reopen schools, the same thing will happen. Also, I can't bear with the idea of just going to school because I have to, and then being the one that brings the virus into my family and causing someone to pass away. If I was responsible of one of my loved ones' death, I don't think I would be able to deal with that for the rest of my life.
What does it feel like making history by being in a pandemic? Well, I think it's pretty weird and cool. I think it'll be cool that I can tell stories of when, like, to my kids. If I have kids one day, I can tell them stories and completely exaggerate it because they'll never know what it was like. And like, the history books would be like, these people survived everything. But it really wasn't that bad. But, like, obviously people are dying and stuff, but the staying inside and everything wasn't that bad. But I can make it. I can exaggerate it. It'll be good for me.
No one wants to be a bad part of history. And involving this pandemic, it is a bad part of history, but I think it's an important part of history that people in the future need to know that this happened and this happened to us and we lived through it, and that it could happen again and it probably will happen again, but this is how we took care of it and how they can do better in the future. Even though we don't like living in it and we don't like being a part of the history involving the pandemic, I believe it is important to discuss it and eventually write it down in the books, because this is something that changed our lives, how we lived and how we got to the store and everything. It just changed completely, and it changed how we see the world, and I think that's an important part on how we see everything, because that's our world, that's our life, and it just changed because one simple sickness.
Isolation was stifling, and so art helped me cope and to find a happy medium. I was able to focus on something other than the fact that we're in quarantine and it's difficult to cope with the differences in our lifestyles, and the art didn't change, and so it was a constant for me. And I'm really, really glad that I had art, or else I probably wouldn't be as well adjusted as I am.
Since mid-March, I've made my first animated short film, Donuts Day Out, and my first album, which I made in under 72 hours, Alley Cat Face. I feel awful during these times, but in a way, the extra time gives you a little bit more room to experiment and focus more on quality, not quantity.
This pandemic has given me a lot of time to think about myself, about my art, time to think about how people can be so threatened by this, that they aren't afraid of a virus that can kill them, or they're so threatened by this, that they're not afraid to kill other people. And I guess I just haven't really seen it, and now I do, since, well, I can't really see anything else.
Since quarantine began, I've definitely been making more art than I was before, and that's partially because I have a lot more free time, and partially because when I haven't been able to see the people that I love, making art for them or making cute gifts for them is a way that I like to connect with the people in my life. But I also haven't been making as much art as I thought I would be with all this free time, and I think that's because when I'm in the same space all day and with the same people, it really is hard for me to get motivated.
So I'm going to be talking about how quarantine has affected my art. Personally, I don't think it's affected it much. I have noticed I have not been drawing a lot like I used to when I was in school, like actually physically at school. But ever since quarantine has started, I haven't been drawing much. I don't really have like inspiration, and I'm kind of just like, where did all that go? So I do think quarantine has affected like just me wanting to draw, because I just want to get out of the house. I don't want to sit here and draw. So I do think it has affected it like very big.
Being part of history is hard. It's the fact that not like many people go throughout their life wondering if they'll be remembered and if people will know that they did something in life. And that's what we have a chance to do now. We have a chance to go throughout this life knowing that we were COVID-19 2020 survivors.